What is going on, ICBA fans? My name is Frosty, aka the Alpha Like a Rock, and today I'm bringing you guys week 3 of our ICBA match against Murk and his Burger Kingler. Now, Murk has a very good team and is, as of the end of week 2, the best team in the league at 2-0 and plus 10 differential. His team is ridiculously put together. He also has the fastest mon in the league, guaranteed. Faramosa? No, Faramosa not faster than this thing. No, he has his S pick for his team was Deoxys Speed, fastest mon in any fastest mon ever, I believe is what it is 180. So I'm not trying to outspeed that should he bring it, because I don't think I will. So I just need to try and kill it in one shot if I can do that. His team also consists of Manaphy, Zapdos, Scolipede, Sarina, Metagross, Snorlax, Alomomola, Golurk, Blaziken, and Deoxys. His Z Crystal holders are Deoxys Speed, Blaziken, and Manaphy. Now, for the bottom parts of those, the Deoxys, the Blaziken, the Golurk, and the Alomomola, I am not for certain whether he would bring those or not. I could see him bringing Alomomola, but I don't really expect him to bring it, because I have some counters to that. I have counters to Golurk and Blaziken very easily that can KO this thing, especially Lando pretty much takes Golurk, and it takes Blaziken and Deoxys well. He can pretty much Earthquake spam those guys down. Also, he does not match up well against Lando. He does have Snorlax. I am expecting him to bring that Snorlax, because he does need a fire user. If he doesn't bring Blaziken, he needs to bring something for the Scizor. Should I bring it? He also, I do see him bringing Metagross, because it does match up well against both Gardevoir and Meloetta. I do see him bringing Scolipede, because Scolipede is probably the most dangerous mon in this team. And then he has Zapdos, kind of 50-50, and Manaphy, because I'm expecting Manaphy to be a rest hydration set, because the rest hydration Z Rain Dance set, because that's pretty much the only ever set that's ever good on Manaphy now. Z Crystal pretty much made Manaphy a god, because you can't status it. So, and plus I've run into it before, so I am definitely expecting that set. As for that, let's get into the team, and we have Alpha here, who's going to be cheering us on as always. So let's get into our team and show you who I brought. First of all, I am bringing Fajita, and why do I not have this up? I had it up. Oh my god, whatever. So I'm bringing Fajita, and this is going to be my Z Crystal holder, as this is an offensive Fajita set. So this one is this is a offensive Heatran. It is 252 into special attack with a special defensive nature and a little bit of special defensive investments to live a +3, because I'm expecting Tail Glow or Calm Mind, some sort of setup move. As I'm expecting Tail Glow, as I'm expecting this to be a full offensive, because I'm gonna expect him to kind of go for that full offensive set there. So I can live 1, and then I can hit him with a Grass Beam Z Solar Beam. I also am rocking Earth Power, because he has things weak to Earth. Magma Storm for trapping, because if I can trap it in and then hit it with a beam, he is a dead Manaphy. It doesn't matter. Especially if he uses a setup move and I hit the Magma Storm. And then Ancient Powers to cover what was it to cover? Oh, it was to cover Scolipede. It was to cover that Scolipede. Though Magma Storm could do it, Ancient Power is just more guaranteed. And if I get the boost, then it's even a better bet. It's even a better bet right there. So then from there, I am bringing my counter to Scolipede and to Manaphy and Ditto Fuka. This is just the basic Fuka set that you see on Showdown. It's just a basic set, 252 HP, 252 defense, relaxed nature, choice scarf. As this will pretty much it's meant to come in on Scolipede at like +2 or 3 speed and pretty much outspeed it, kill it, and then outspeed the rest of his entire team. Like I said, I use it as an anti-setup sweeper and as an anti-deterrent against setting things up. And this is also for Ditto as well. I'm sorry, this is also for Manaphy as well, should he set up well and high on that. So pretty much nothing more to be said here with Fuka. Next, we're bringing Toph, our Landorus. This is our defensive Landorus with some special defensive investments. It has 212 in the HP, 180 defensive with a defensive nature, and 116 in the special defenses, so I can eat an Ice Beam from that Manaphy very, very easily. As this is also a Rocky Helmet set, so that way if he goes into that Scolipede sets up and I bring this thing in, not only do I get the Intimidate off, lowering its attack, but it will also do damage to itself, because it has no form of recovery and no form of gaining HP back other than either Berry or Wish Pass from Alomomola. So I'm not too, this is going to be rocking Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Knockoff, and Toxic. I was thinking about rocking Stone Edge, but it was just kind of an iffy thing there, but I felt Knockoff was better as to knock off an item. So Toph is here. Toph is my anti-Scolipede. Anytime Scolipede comes in, I can bring this thing in and basically get it to kill itself, and that is what this thing is definitely being used for. And then our next mon is going to be Tide HE. This is our Choice Scarf Trick Tide HE. Is I want to trick that Manaphy if I can. If I know the Manaphy is holding an item, because it sucks that you can't trick with a Z Crystal. I think you should be able to trick a Z Crystal because technically it is a held item, and even though it gets used, it should be you should be able to trick it. I do think that is something that they should fix in the next iteration of the game, probably Gen 8, is that they should fix the crystals to be able to be tricked or swapped or switcherooed, because that would make it not so powerful as to things like, you know, trick, or it would leave it very susceptible to things like trick and just stuff like that. So, or pickpocket or thief or something like that. It would make it more susceptible to stuff like that and make it a little bit more viable. But anyways, this is going to be our Tide HE. This is 212 212 speed, 252 special attack, 16 in defense, and 28 in the HPs, just to give me an odd number of HP there. But this is going to be rocking Hydro Pump and Discharge as my main moves. Shadow Ball to hit that Metagross just in case he brings it, and then Trick. If I can trick that Metagross, that would be actually very nice. As if he also brings the Zapdos, tricking a Choice Scarf into a defensive Zapdos that is his defogger. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's something that I'm going to be shooting for. So next, the next two mons I'm bringing are definitely special mons, because I specially built them for specific reasonings. Next, I'm bringing Urza Scarlet. Now, this is a Shadow Ball, Calm Mind, Psychic Rest set. Now, this is a full defensive nature, HP investments, and 84 in the special attack. This thing is meant to go toe-to-toe with Manaphy in the rain. Why? Because I trace hydration, I can rest and get out of it real quick. That is the entire reasoning for the build of this mon, is to basically go toe-to-toe, Calm Mind with Manaphy, Psychic it. Psychic because I can get the special defense drops, or I believe it's special defense. Yes, I can get special defense drops in either both Shadow Ball or in Psychic, and I can just eat this thing alive, especially if it is the I'm gonna take a huge hit, but if I have a couple of Calm Minds and then he gets a Tail Glow Up, I'm gonna be able to eat those Surfs, Scalds, or whatever water move he wants to go for, possibly Energy Ball, possibly whatever the hell he wants to go for, and I'm going to be able to hit this thing extremely hard. So Urza is my anti-Manaphy set, because this is specially built for is specially built to have hydration as the traced ability. So it was a very good set here, and I really like this set, and I'm really hoping that it puts in the work. And then lastly, our last mon. This one was also built specially. This was built for Snorlax, because I knew Snorlax was going to be a problem. Now, Cursed Snorlax is going to be a semi problem. It depends, but I really had to build it for this, and so I decided to build this one set just for Snorlax, should he bring Fire Punch on Snorlax. And so I am bringing Gurren, and now Gurren is going to be a careful nature as to be able to eat up the special hits that it can, and then roost that off. It's going to have Bullet Punch, Knockoff, and Counter. Now Counter is especially for that for Fire Punch. What is it? Fire Punch Snorlax or Earthquaking Scolipede, as I am going to be able to counter that and pretty much OHKO it. If he hits me with Fire Punch, it does about 60 to 75%, so it does somewhere around in that range. And at my HPs, at a 169, if I take that much damage, I should be able to one-shot it, as I will take about 130 and then do back 260. Possibly 240 to 260, so depending on his investments, he will die to Bullet Punch the next turn after that. And so if this is a rest set, I can counter it on the first turn, then go for Bullet Punch or go for Knockoff and guarantee the KO after that, as I will be faster than the Snorlax. The only thing that this thing could lose to is possibly set up to Cursed Snorlax, but like I said, this is specially built for it, so hopefully that'll work out well for us. His HP is his 188 HP investments and 116 defensive investments. So he does have the defense here to live a Fire Punch. He does not live 2, he gets 2 hit KO'd by it, but that's what Counter is for. Counter is basically to have you think that you're safe and then go for the counter. Even if he goes for Earthquake, he's still going to get counter, and he's not going to be able to rely on going for Fire Punch because he doesn't know when I'm going to be able to counter it. I can get a free knockoff the next turn or roost back up to ensure that I'll live a Fire Punch. This is that and the other. So the team again is we have Gurren, Urza Scarlet, Tide HG, Toph, Fuka, and Fajita. So let's go into the match and let's see how we did. Alright guys, we're back, and as you guys can see, I pretty much called his team pretty much on the nose. I pretty much called his team. The only thing that caught me off guard was maybe the Zapdos, as I wasn't for certain whether he would bring it or not, but I did prepare for it should he actually have brought in it. So this team was pretty much reminiscent of what I thought he was going to bring, which means my team counters his pretty damn well. And so the only thing I'm uncertain of what kind of set that Deoxys speed is. So as for that, let's get into the video. Let's see how we do. Let's get challenged by Murk, and let's go into this video right now. Yeah, we got the good music for this, so you know it's going to be a good battle. So I decided I'm going to leave it tight here because this is my best bet if I can trick something over, especially if he leads with something like his Zapdos, which he actually does lead for. So now here I'm not sure if this is offensive or defensive Zapdos, but I don't want to take no chances of this being a defensive Zapdos, so I decide to trick on the first turn to give him this choice Scarf, and I will take my chances if he is this. And so I switch my thing, and he gets choice Scarf, and I get a Zap Blade, which this shows me he was an offensive Zapdos, which does suck because now I am going to take a Thunderbolt, and I do not have the HPs to take 2 of that. I now know he outspeeds me, but I now know he is choice Scarfed. So now I can get into my counters for this. I could try and get my rocks up, and so I decide I'm not going to take a chance that he stays in, goes for it, because I want to get that free switch into Toph. And so I switch it to Toph here, and I'm like, okay, he has Deoxys speed. I can live any hidden power ice from this thing, or ice beam from this thing, as for all of my investments. I'm going to go for the knockoff and try to just see if I can OHKO this thing, because I had a semi chance to do it. It really just depended on his investments, his nature, and what he was. So I go for the knockoff as he sets up Stealth Rocks, and we actually get the OHKO. And I was like, okay, big threat, gone, out of the way. Okay, Deoxys speed, not a big deal. As from the Life Orb, it was a very offensive set. So here he goes into Manaphy, and I'm like, okay, this is either where he's going to start setting up or all of this. So, but he actually goes for the Scald first turn, which is fine because I can live it. It's a 2-hit KO, and unfortunately we get burned. So unfortunately we're already getting hacked. I get the Toxic. It would have been really bad if I missed the Toxic. Like I said, I'm expecting this to be Rest Hydration set with Rain Dance and Z Rain Dance. So I'm not expecting this Toxic to last too long. But at least I can start whittling it down. And if I can kill it before it gets a rest off, then I'm going to be golden. As I know I can't take another Scald here, I just decide I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to switch into Tide here, and I'm going to take the Scald that's incoming, and I'm going to try and scare this thing out, so that way it takes damage from. So he goes for another Scald, as I can try to get him to take one more toxic damage, and 2, fear the set that he might not be full speed invested, and he would take a lot of damage from a discharge. So here he switches out, he goes into Duckworth, he goes into this counter to this, as he is going to have to take this discharge, and this discharge with the Zap Blade actually does a decent amount of damage to the Zapdos, as it does about 48%. So here he goes for Thunderbolt, and I just decide to sack off Tide because there's not much else I can do with it. So I thought about tricking it back, but I was like, okay, well, there's no point in tricking it back because if he gets his Zap Plate back, I don't want that to happen. So here we go into Toph, as I know he's locked into Thunderbolt. And here I just decided I want to set up my rocks, as this is the only thing that he can do is get in. The only thing he can do here is go out, because he can't touch this thing now because he's gone for an electric move and I'm immune to it. So here he goes back into Manaphy, as I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rocks. So here I had a choice. I could have stayed in, chanced the Scald, sacked off Toph, but I still need to Toph around for that Scolipede just in case things go wrong. So here I think I decided to make the switch, and I'm going to go into Guard of War, and I'm going to start trying to set up Calm Minds. As you know, if he wants to go for Scald, I can eat this very easily, and I can do this because of how just bulky she is on the especially defensive side. So I do Trace, and luckily we Trace Hydration, which is very good because under Rain we're going to be able to rest and get all of that as he goes for Calm Mind. So this does show that he is the setup Calm Mind variant. So this does kind of suck that he's at a +1, but I can eat a +1 Scald, and I'm going to start setting up my own stuff. and he still has to take toxic damage, but he still hasn't shown the Rain Dance yet. He hasn't shown an item, but he still hasn't shown Rain Dance yet. So I'm expecting this to come on pretty soon because he's starting to get whittled down pretty low, but he's still using this to his advantage. So here he goes for the Rain Dance, as I knew it was coming. I knew the Rain Dance was coming, so he's going to actually lose that poison at the end of this turn. As I just decide I'm going to set up a Calm Mind, and we're going to go toe to toe with it. And now we're at +1 and he's at +1, but he's a lot lower HP than I am. So this is very good for us, as he could go for rest, but hydration is going to take away his poison. And I'm going to show leftovers here, as I'm going to show that this is pretty much my only form of recovery of getting back besides rest. So here he goes for the Scald. I know it's not going to do too much damage because, like I said, I have all of that. And plus, I'm hydration, so even if he gets the burn, it's not going to matter. As I'm going to go for a second Calm Mind, as I know I can eat this. As I can eat it, and after a second Calm Mind, he's no way of OHKOing me unless he crits. That's the only way, as now he would have to take a +2 Psychic, and at this range, he does not take a +2 Psychic. Even if he rests, it's still a 2-hit KO. It's pretty much almost a 2 to 1-hit KO. It does a lot of damage. So here I go for the Psychic, as he does switch out and goes into that Metagross. And this Metagross takes rock damage, plus it has to take the Psychic. If I had gotten a special defense drop here, this would have been nice, but it doesn't work that way. So we're still under the rain, and I'm getting some HPs back, and I'm expecting Bullet Punch, but like I said, I am full defensively invested, so I know we can do it. Plus, I'm going to go for Shadow Balls. I'm going to reveal that he cannot stay in, and it does a clean chunk, but we missed the KO. We missed it. We had a good chance to KO, and we actually low-rolled there. We low-rolled that, and so we have to take an Earthquake here. And so he does 80 damage. Or no, he brings us down to 80, and then that our leftovers brings us back. So here he goes for another Earthquake, actually showing that we were speed tied. So we actually speed tied, which was kind of funny. But he just showing that he just cannot touch it because of this. As I go for rest this turn, as I needed to rest up in case he brings in something else. And this is kind of where it sucks, because this is where I looked at it and I was like, okay, it said 1 turn left and the rain stopped. Hydration didn't pull us out of sleep. I was like, great. I saw 1 turn left, and I thought it had 1 more turn left, so I kind of made a mistake, because he goes into Scolipede here. Here's another kind of a misplay, as I'm like, okay, I know I can't really eat it, as I burned a turn to sleep to stay in, and what I should have done here is I should have stayed in, but I didn't. I withdrew because I wasn't sure if he was going to go for the Poison Jab. I didn't know if it would OHKO or not. As he goes into Zapdos here, as Zapdos has to take more rocks damage. And so I just decided, like I said, I was going to switch out anyways into my counter for this, as my counter that Scolipede was always Toph. Toph can take a couple of hits, do some Rocky Helmet damage, really limits with the rocks how much he can do here. Here I'm expecting he's either going to go for HP Ice and KO me, or he's going to go for Defog if he has it. So here I don't see why he would go for the KO, because he knows I'm burned, he knows I only have a small amount of time left. Here I just decided I'm not going to KO it. I know he's faster because I didn't invest and he's invested. So here he defogs as I go for the Toxic, just to kind of get the Toxic off. I know I have 1 more, and I know this thing is locked into defog, so even if he were, he's going to be locked into defog, so he could defog again. And maybe if he just wants to stay in and defog and just wait for the burn to take me out, he will still miss it, as I will be able to take him out the next turn after that. So here he switches out and he goes back into Humble as I set the rocks back up. And so I'm going to let Toph go down as he gets the rocks back up, and these rocks are guaranteed now to stay up, because that Zapdos will not survive re-entry now that he has taken it out. Is below 25%, it will not survive re-entry. So I know that Zapdos is dead upon arrival. So here I go into Fajita as I want to get this, and here's where something big happens. The game misclicks. I actually clicked B here to back out, because I was like, should I go for the Bloom Doom? I was like, no. If he switches out, it's going to be bad. So I hit B to go back, but the game registered me as registering the Bloom Doom. So here we pop our Z move and we hit nothing. So here we just wasted a Z move, because the game, I hit B and it didn't allow me to go back. So at this point, I know the match is going to go downhill from here, because all sorts of bad shit happens from here. Now, this was, like I said, it was really kind of dumb, because I was going to back out and go for Earth Powers just to kind of show him that it was like, okay, hey, maybe I didn't have it, this is that, and the other. So here he goes for Calm Minds, as now I really don't have anything other than maybe getting off this Magma Storm to trap him in, And that's what I was going to do. I was going to use Magma Storm to trap him in to guarantee that he can't, but I missed the Magma Storm on this one. So I was going to use the Magma Storm to trap him in to guarantee that he can't get out. Because if I had hit that, and then I still have my Z Crystal, then the next turn, right here is where I go for the Bloom Doom, and the Bloom Doom guarantees the KO. Then I still have my Heat Rain. As I hit the Magma Storm this time, but I mean, Magma Storm has a chance to miss, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm more mad about clicking B to back out of Bloom Doom, and somehow the game registered it. I don't know how, and I know my hand wasn't on A. I know my hand was on B to back out. So I lose Fajita here for no reasoning, which sucks because now he's at a +1, and Gardevoir is still asleep. So here I just decide I'm going to go into Fuka, as I'm going to do this. I know I'm faster than this thing. As I am Scarfed, I'm going to go for the Scald. As this, actually his set was only Scald, Calm Mind, Rain Dance, and Rest. So he only had one attacking move. So as I can see from that damage, I will KO him next turn. Now here's the biggest thing. He Z moves here. Now he gets the +1 speed. At this point, we're speed tied. Because I have his stats, I have his stats at +1 speed. He now has +1 speed. We're now in the rain. This rain is a guaranteed KO. It's 20 to 25% guaranteed. The only way I lose this match is if he wins the speed tie and he rests. He wins the speed tie. At this point in the match, I don't even have to say anything. We lose the rest of the match. 4-0. I'm not even gonna let you guys. I don't care. I'm spoiling it because at this point in the match, I had him beat. This Manaphy, he had nothing for this Manaphy, especially in the rain. My Ditto had him beat. See, I would have KO'd it. See that damage? I would have KO'd it there. I would have KO'd it. But unfortunately, RNG rolls in his favor and we lose the match here. I'm not, I was real salty-ish after this match because one, I felt the game itself screwed me out of this match. Because when it came down to it, I didn't have another switch in for this. I couldn't switch anything else into this. The Bloom Doom escapade, the Bloom Doom mishap there with the game was a huge setback because that pretty much took out the only thing I had left, and now I pretty much died of Skulls because Urza can't while Urza traces hydration. Yeah, I don't survive two +1 rain boosted Skulls. If I had my +2, I easily survive it. I easily survived 3. So here I go into Gurren because I can't do anything else. So I'm just going to keep trying to do, like I said, I lose the rest of this match. Manaphy takes out the rest of my team. But it was, oh, and he gets the burn here, by the way, too, because watch, he's going to get the burn because I can't get the burn. But anyways, I can't really say that, like I said, I was really mad after this match. Not because of Murk. Murk played well. I prepped way well for his team. I was ready for this team. I had every counter for this team that was ready and there. The only thing that makes me lose this match is the game itself. And that's the sucky part, is that when the game itself costs you the game. And so it was real bad here. It just really sucked because it was one of those things, like I had this team beat. I had it beat. You can watch this whole thing and see if I had won that, there was no way. And by the team builder, before this, you can see that there was no way his team takes mine. I theory mined the hell out of this match, and the only ways he wins is either by random crit or by setup, curse, fire punch, Snorlax. This is the only way he wins, is if he sets up to +2 curse, and I try to counter that, because I can't survive a +2 fire punch from a Snorlax. There's no way. Either that or a Banded Snorlax. Banded Snorlax actually has a chance to KO me from full HP. And the fact that I had to take rock damage on top of coming in, so I had a good chance of getting KO'd from there. But those are the only 3 ways that he actually wins this match. I should have won this match either by 2-0, 3-0, or 4-0. Because every way I played this scenario out, I won 2, 3, or 4-0. One of the ways. But it just so happens that we lose. We lose because of RNG. But I guess this is kind of karma coming full circle for what happened with Leo last week and his Needle Queen. But it just sucks because I was so prepped for this. I was so ready. I was so ready for this match, and I knew it was going to be the same Manaphy set, because like I said, it is the only decent Manaphy set to ever run. You don't need to run anything else. You can't be statist. You can't be out of your sleep unless you screw up your whole rest thing. But I mean, you have Calm Mind, so you take no damage. He was a full defensive variant, so he took little damage from the defensive side because water is such a great defensive typing. So, I mean, it's really just kind of dumb. And so I can't really, you know, it was a good match. I will say GG, but I will say the way that he won was not a good way. I mean, he still gets the win. He takes it. I'm not going to give that to him. You know, it is Pokemon. It is what happens. But the way that it just went down really rubs me the wrong way, because I had, you know, it's when you have the match won and the game itself stops you. Because like I said, the two instances that lost me this match was the Bloom Doom escapade and that speed tie loss. Those are the only things that lost me this match. Those two things right there. Because like I said, if I had gone for Earth Power, he brings Manaphy back in, he tries to set up, I lock him in with Magma Storm, and Bloom Doom, he kills him. Doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter that he's at a plus something, doesn't matter if he rests back up to full, because he still takes a full damaged thing. It doesn't matter. Even if he sets up the rain, it doesn't matter. He dies next turn. There's nothing he can do about it. So here, at the end of the match, I'm kind of barring for crits here, but like I said, I'm scarfed with only 5 moves to use, so I eventually just struggle myself to death. Or actually, I don't even get that. Man, if I struggle and get down to 4. So this is the last one of the match. So you see, I struggle, do some damage, and I actually live on 4. I'm like, dude, could I at least struggle myself to death to at least be this? But no, man, if he picks up 5 kills because of this. So we end up losing this match 4-0. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. Not because we lost. It just sucks because we had this match won. We had it won. There's nothing in my mind, and no way that after theory crafting the hell out of this match for 3 days that I should have lost. The only ways I lose were those 2 escapades. Even after the 1 escapade, I still have a chance to win via winning the speed tie. I win if I win the speed tie. And so it sucks because like I said, I lose because of that. I lose because of that. That one thing right there is why I lose. And so, all my prep out the window. Especially, because like we talked after the match, and he was like, I said, hey, I had you beat. And he was like, oh, well, I still had Fire Punch on Snorlax. I said, it doesn't matter. I had counter. You KO yourself. And so looking at it, I don't know what's going on, but as it is, like I said, we take a loss, and I'm not happy about it just because of how it went down. I mean, congrats to Murk. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna show the higher sportsmanship. Congrats to Murk. I'm happy you won. You know, it's salty the way that you did win. You know, if I had gotten out prepped, if I had gotten outplayed, I would have accepted that. You guys know this. You've seen my videos where I've gotten out prepped, I've got outplayed, and I've lost because of being just outplayed. Those are fine losses to take when you get outplayed. When you get RNG'd, that's a huge salty wound right there. Because that is the game going, no, you will not win because I choose not to let you win. Or, you know, it's just basically the game going, no, he got a dice roll 7, you got a dice roll 6. Sorry. So yeah. So like I said, a little bit of salt, but it is what it is. We have our next match coming up, and funny enough, let's actually talk about that now. So with the next match, we're supposed to face Tesla Mouse, but unfortunately Tesla Mouse, he dropped out of the league. So he's been replaced by a new coach. This coach is U-Turn Crobat, who is coach of, I believe it is the New London Zoroarks. Please forgive me if I said your team name wrong. I don't remember as I just started prepping for it. But he's the one who he took over for the Charlotte Beedrills or the Houston Raichus, you know, whoever, Tesla Mouse's team, and he's the one who has Protean Greninja. So, also with our week 3 match, free agency opens up, and my God, there were some free agencies. Holy crap! There was trades, there was drops, there was restructures all over the board. So with that, I knew there was a mon I wanted out of the tier 3 tier that got actually snagged up by somebody else, but luckily enough, they actually dropped it. So I actually decided to use my first free agency after this match, and I dropped Dragalge. Dragalge was good, and Dragalge is a great dragon. Adaptability Draco Meteors are no joke. As you saw, Assault Vested Conkeldurr with a bunch of HP investments still takes 50% from it. So it is huge there. So with that, we dropped Dragauge, and for this I wanted to pick up a better dragon, and this one definitely is a better dragon. This opens me up to a little bit more of the same weaknesses that I wanted, but we drop Dragauge and we get Kyurem. So Kyurem, far faster, 95 speed, 130 in both attacks, a lot of HPs, 90 in the defenses. Very, very great mon, and I felt was a better addition dragon-wise to the team than Dragauge was. Dragauge, with dropping Dragauge, I do lose Toxic Spikes, but I was very rarely ever going to bring the Toxic Spikes anyways. I don't see many matches where they are going to do very good for us. So with that, we make the drop there, and we pick up Kyurem. So next week we will have our match against U-Turn Crobat, and hopefully that goes well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I'm a little bit salty. Like I said, it is just a very salty way to lose and a very crappy way to lose, but it is what it is. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe as always, and I will see you in our next match when we face U-Turn Crobat and the New London Zoroarks. Like I said, if that is your team name, good. If not, sorry. I'm not actually looking at it right now. So have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you guys later. All right.